all this. Meredith chimed in. All right, we are going to rock it out. So welcome to LinkedIn Live, everyone. I'm so excited you are here. It is a beautiful Thursday afternoon here in Cleveland, and we are close to Jasz. She's about an hour and a half from me, but she's in Western PA. So I'm going to hop on. So welcome. How's your weather?
Hey, it is super hot here, as I think everyone in this area is. I was on the phone this morning with one of my Cincinnati clients, and he was like, "Is it insanely hot?" I was like, "Yes."
Yep, it's insanely hot. I was at our library this morning, and it's beautiful and cold. And one of my clients walked in. She's like, "Oh my gosh, it's so cold in here," and I'm like, "But it's lovely." Rather it be cold than crazy hot. So again, Jasz, I'm so excited to have you here today because we're going to kind of dive in, and you are my wrapping up guest for July, which is cool. Kind of pulling together all the stuff that you and I have talked about, from marketing to the human element to sales to connecting to one of our favorite things, libraries. So if you are tuning in, drop in the chat where you are tuning in from and let us know where you're joining us from. But if you're listening to the recording, still comment, give us a heads up. How did you hear about us? Where did you learn about us? And I'm going to kind of let Jasz take the stage. So before we dive into the conversation, though, I want to make sure you all know how we connected. So Jasz and I are actually both part of the beautiful network known as Together in Digital. So I'll give a shout out there in the chat. So to the Together Digital community, which is headed by the beautiful Amy Vaughn. And the exceptional, I should say, not just beautiful, but she really does a beautiful job doing this. And Jasz, you were in it, I think, when Amy was first in it, right?
Even before that, yeah.
Okay.
I joined in 2018. So yeah, it's been a while.
It's crazy. And so as a former, because you used to be in Cleveland, right?
Yes, yes.
You moved. That's okay. You crossed the state line. We'll still forgive you. You can still be part of our lovely community. But you have actually kind of built this beautiful brand about really helping strategies and boutique agencies manage their own marketing. So I want to give you the stage to kind of just share what you do and why you love what you do.
Absolutely. I would love to. So I feel like I have to tell the background before I dive in. So I spent my whole career working for mid-sized full-service marketing agencies, and throughout all of that, quickly realized the old saying, "the shoemaker's kids never have shoes," holds true. And agency owners spend so much time building their clients' businesses that they rarely have the time, energy, focus to work on their own businesses. So I worked for a number of CEOs who would stand up at team meeting and say, "We need to treat ourselves like a client. You know, we're generating all these leads and we're creating all this great content for our clients, and our channels are just barren." And then that would last for about a week, right? We would all be like heads down working on the agency marketing. And the minute a client fire popped up, all of that would get pushed to the back burner. And we would once again have to focus on other stuff. And so that's really how my business was built. Is I partner with boutique agency owners and consultancies to help them develop the systems and strategies they need for a pipeline full of sales-ready leads. I want agency owners to feel really confident that they're practicing what they preach and that they're pushing out all of this marketing goodness that they're telling their clients to push out, that they know where their next sale is coming from. They're not constantly relying on referral business, and all of that good stuff. So that's what I've been up to.
No, that's perfect. And I like how you say that, right? So we forget sometimes that when we're so busy helping clients, and I think that's a default of just loving having a client-focused business, right? That we forget to stop and pause and help ourselves. I had to chuckle. A very similar thing happened to me last week where I caught myself writing a bunch of content for clients. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't done my own content calendar yet for August, right? So you kind of have to take that step back and work with someone like you, or really commit time to working on your business and not just in your business. And I think that's really critical. So I guess I'm curious, because one of the things that I know is a big myth is that sales and marketing are the same thing. And as we roll our eyes as marketing professionals and as a former sales exec, I can tell you that marketing and sales are absolutely related, but they are 110% not the same thing. They need each other. And it's this beautiful reciprocal relationship where we need each other to both be successful in terms of reaching a company's goals. But I love how you put a great perspective to it when you talk about the sales funnel and a marketing strategy. So kind of dive in. I know it might be a soapbox for you, so fair and honest. Why is marketing so important to a salesperson's funnel?
Absolutely. Well, I think that whenever we think of the traditional sales funnel, right, we have top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel. Of course, there's way more than that in the year 2023, but for conversation's sake, we'll stick with those three. And I think it's very easy for sales to focus on bottom of the funnel, right? And if you've ever met a salesperson, you know they come in hot at that bottom of the funnel. They are ready to book a meeting with you, a consultation, a call, a demo, whatever it is for them. And as marketers, and when salespeople partner with marketers, we have this really unique opportunity to capture people before they're ready to speak to sales, nurture them all along that journey. So when sales does get involved, it's a shoo-in. It's an easy sale for them. They're basically already sold. They know the company, they love the company, they have full trust in the company. And it's just a matter of, the T's and C's. Where do I sign? How much does it cost? What does the billing look like? All of those types of questions come up. So when you're implementing a full funnel marketing strategy, the sales team always has leads that they can pull from and that are ready to hear from them. They're warm leads. We're not doing any of that like cold outreach. We're not list buying or anything like that. And then B, like I said, those people are ready to hear from them. And it's a much stronger conversation. There's a lot of relationship building that's already happened between the prospect and the company by the time sales gets involved.
No, I 100% agree. And I want to go back. It's the question you ask, right? So you have a warm lead. What do they want to hear about? You already know that answer, right? But when you're filling the top of the funnel, and I was actually meeting with a client this week, and we actually had to take a step back because I asked him, like, are you familiar with what's called a sales cycle? Like, how are you filling your funnel with just all types of contacts? And then where are they filtering out after you filled your funnel? And are you being present where you need to be present? And I think you raise a great point that sometimes sales walks in very bold. Okay, we're ready for the sale, when that first part, they still don't know what the company's about.
Yes.
Right? So when you're educating yourself on a client's business and you're educating the consumer then as a flip, what types, I guess this is a question to kind of follow up to they're ready to hear the conversation. Are you finding they're interested in different things throughout the sales funnel? Like the company values, the vision?
Yes. So I think the first thing that we have to do as marketers is create a buyer persona. And before everybody kind of eye rolls at that, I think it's important to get very, very, very doubling down on this specific with exactly who we're targeting. And more importantly, in the B2B space, I want us to be honing in on pain points, on goals. In the B2B space, I don't really care as much if they're married, right? The traditional demographics, are they living in a city? Are they married? How old are they? So on and so forth. What I care about is what are their pain points? What keeps them up at night? What gives them the Sunday scaries? And they're like, ugh, I just don't want to go into work on Monday.
Yeah.
Like, how can we really speak to those things? And once you've figured out what that thing is, that's your top of the funnel offer, right? So if we know that our prospects are really stressed about sales, they have no idea where their next sale is coming from. They're like, I could never get another sale in my life. And that's very possible for me. Sure. That's our top of the funnel. Like, we need to be talking about how our personas can be generating sales. And then once we've kind of talked to them about that, the middle of the funnel is when we start talking about why we are the solution. That's when we start to get a little bit more salesy to say, generally speaking, I would recommend that you work with a consultant, maybe somebody like me. And then at the bottom of the funnel is when we're really saying, let's book a meeting. Let's talk about what working with me would look like.
Yeah. And I love that point, right? What does it look like? So those Sunday scaries, and when you talk about a persona, I think it's really interesting because shout out to Sonia Pastor, who I love talking to. She's a graphic designer, and even in her brand impression, when she's really trying to help you establish your visual brand, right? She's also asking you, what's the persona? What is your customer look? What does your brand look like when they walk in a party? What is your brand doing? What are they talking? What are they wearing? What are they eating? And then what are your customers doing and eating and sharing and talking about? And we forget that personas are powerful, right? They help us distinguish and add character traits and human elements. I know Meredith talked a lot on Monday at one of our LinkedIn Lives about that power of the human piece. But I think you're exactly right and you're spot on. And I think sometimes we miss it. So to circle back, you and I talk about different collateral, and I think it's important for us to also now talk about different channels. There's different channels you should be leveraging throughout your sales funnel. For me, it's great to have a presence on all your social media, to have at least be visible and searchable, to go, oh yeah, there's their page. But I guess I'm really curious from your perspective, having supported agencies who were supporting clients in their work, what kind of presence do you help your clients with, or do you expect agencies to have on social media?
Absolutely. Again, it goes back to those buyer personas. So where is your audience hanging out? So that being said, I'll say generally speaking, I know that social media is a really great top of the funnel tool.
Uh-huh.
The reason being that whenever people are scrolling on social media, they're not looking for anything specific. They're just kind of there to be there, to learn, maybe to get entertained, to kill some time. But
to watch a cat meme or two? Yes.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a channel like, for example, Google, right? Whether we're talking about SEO, we're talking about Google search ads, those people are typing in a specific need. They're in research mode. They're searching for something. And that is a middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel situation. When we're on social media, we're very top of the funnel. So we need to be hitting them with just plain old education, with tips, ideas, insights, things that are going to make them go, interesting. Not here's a link to book a call with me. Not, are you ready for a demo of my product? Nobody is ready for that when they're just casually scrolling. So I think that's baseline where social media plays, where Google, whether that's organic, whether that's paid plays. Email is my number one tool for nurturing. However, yes, so email is fantastic for nurturing, staying top of mind. However, LinkedIn is as well. And one thing that I talk to all of my agency clients about is your founder and your leadership team's presence on LinkedIn. So I will be the first to tell you that LinkedIn company pages are dead. I mean, there's no, like, the organic reach on those things is completely dead. If you're running ads, it makes sense to have posts, right? So people may click through to your ads. To your point, Megan, you want to just have a presence.
Yeah.
But to be actually converting business, it's very minimal. So what we're doing is we're making sure that all of our CEOs, definitely president, CEO, founder, whoever that person is at the agency, and then oftentimes it's the salespeople, it's the vice presidents, depending on the size of your agency as well, are having a consistent presence on LinkedIn. And if you don't have that presence, we offer ghostwriting. We'll do it for you. But somebody needs to be posting on your LinkedIn. And that in and of itself is a nurture tool, because everybody who's following you is going to be regularly seeing your posts, and you're going to be staying top of mind. And that's a huge part of the game. We as business owners are constantly thinking about our businesses, right? I think about my business like every minute of every day. Right. However, nobody else is thinking about your business that much. So it's
newsflash,
right?
That's not possible. Isn't everybody okay? Well, I think our families are worried about our business and how much we worry about our business.
Fair. But it's your job to be constantly reminding people, hey, I'm Jasz. I own an agency for agencies. This is what we're doing. This is what we're up to. Like, that is your job, to be in people's mind and to be staying top of mind.
And I like your part about saying, I mean, to circle back to exactly what you said, company pages are present, right? And I know Brenda talks a lot about, you need to at least be posting a few times on your company page monthly, just to keep it present and active and look like you didn't just ghost your own company page. And Brenda, if you're not following Brenda Meller, please do so. She's a LinkedIn guru. But at the same token, we talk a lot about those personal pages have more power because that's where the conversation starts. And that engagement piece, if I could sing this from the rooftops, that your engagement on LinkedIn does not just mean you post and you walk away. It means you post, you respond, you follow, you comment, you share. Like there's a practice and a cadence to it. And it doesn't have to take you, hours upon hours of your day. I mean, on average, we spend over 2.5 hours a day on social media. That's just natural. That's what we're seeing as a trend. But in that time, are you just scrolling? Are you actually actively having conversations and building relationships on LinkedIn? Because it's possible. And I know, and this is where one of the things that I work a lot with clients is building that community virtually, right? So how do you build someone you look forward to talking to on LinkedIn? Yeah. Or, I do want to so Scott Miller has a great following. He's former CMO of Franklin Covey, but it's hysterical because it's a blend, right? So his following is a blend of personal and professional, right? But to your point, he's authentic. So
huge.
Ask yourself that if you're listening to this as a recording, do you have a company page and that's all you're committing to? Or do you have a page that you're actually actively using? Jazz brings a great point, and ghostwriting is a power tool, right? So tell me a little bit. This is completely kind of deviating a little bit from what we've talked about, but let's talk AI. Should people just use AI, generate content, then throw it out there? Curious.
No. No.
If you missed that, that was a hard no.
No. I think that AI is a great tool to support you in your content journey. I know right now saying AI is pretty much simultaneous with saying ChatGPT. So we'll touch on ChatGPT, although there are a ton of AI tools that you can be using to help in your content creation process. Before we dive into ChatGPT, one that I think is underused in terms of content creation are the transcription tools that join you in your Zoom meeting. So Otter AI, Fathom. They're great for note-taking, of course. That's their primary use. However, those are also really great opportunities for you to take a snippet of something that you maybe said in a networking meeting or that you said to your client, and then reuse that and turn it into an email, turn it into a LinkedIn post, whatever makes sense for your business and that piece of content. But all day long, we're spending on these calls just spewing knowledge and information. So if you can start capturing that in a meaningful way, that's fantastic. Of course, circling back to ChatGPT, one thing that I have found a lot of success with is prompting is what people are calling it. I am certainly not an AI expert, but I have found it really helpful to take a piece that I have already written and say to ChatGPT, define this tone and this voice. Mm-hmm. It will then spit out, engaging and happy, whatever. And then I'll say, great, use that tone to write a new post about this topic. And that gives you a starting point. And then from there, you can ask ChatGPT to tweak as much as you want. But then you as a human also need to jump in and start tweaking. And I always find it helpful because I think it's really easy to get down this rabbit hole of once ChatGPT starts writing content for you, that's the headspace you're in. So before I post anything that came even partially from ChatGPT, I'm comparing that to something that I wrote fully on my own to say, does this align? Is this the same tone? Is this the same kind of idea? Yeah. It's not too salesy. It's more informative. And that has been really helpful in making sure that I'm not just getting into that mode of copy paste.
And I like your point, right? So it's a part of our journey. So when we talk about leveraging AI, it's a part of our tool to help us along the content. Because there are days where you might not be as familiar with the industry you're writing for, or you might not be as comfortable and you're wanting a different tone. You're wanting a different play on words. Or I'll be transparent. There are nights where I had to create a quick release on something and it's, just your creative capacity is drained.
Right.
I need to get that spark again. But you make a valid point that as we're looking at this, it's leveraging the tools and the templates within those. And you brought up that reference rate of Otter and Fathom and tools like that. I use Jasper AI, and I love it because of the additional tools behind the scenes, not just a tell Jasper what to write. Well, not really. There's a summarization tool, right? Otter AI uses it, Fathom uses it. There's and I tagged Christopher Johnson in our chat, y'all. He's a fabulous virtual meeting expert to definitely connect with if it decides to actually. Here we go. Let's try this. It's not going to post. But Chris is a great person to connect with, because when you're looking at summarizing things, Jasper even has a tool where you can take the whole transcription, summarize it, build an outline, build a dialogue. And for lectures, as you're teaching students or something like that, or you overhear a conversation and you step into a meeting late, you can kind of take away those key points. And I think that's extremely helpful to have those conversations, at least. So that kind of circles us back to, right? So we talked about kind of the purpose of sales and marketing working together to nurture those relationships throughout the sales funnel. You talked about that heavy emphasis on different messages, different platforms, different tones, different angles. What have we not talked about that you want to make sure people realize about marketing and agencies?
Yeah, great question. Well, I think one of the things that we haven't fully touched on is the fact that you as a business owner are an expert. And I think it's really easy to get caught up with, I have nothing to say. I have nothing to share. I have nothing to share that other people aren't already sharing, especially for us entrepreneurs that do a lot of networking. I sit in rooms with people who have the exact same job as me all the time. And we talk about the same things. However, our clients are not talking about those things, or our prospective clients. And so that's something that I like to remind people. I do a lot of coaching with my clients about how to get in that headspace for content creation, how to think of yourself as an expert, how to think about topics to be writing about. And so the first piece of that is just simply overcoming your imposter syndrome. You are an expert. You have things to share. That's a fact, period. Then once we hit that piece of the puzzle, it's okay, now what can I share? And I really encourage people to get very regimented with your content creation. Set a goal for yourself. How many posts a week? How many emails a week are you going to be doing? And then after every single call you have, whether it's a client call, a networking call, a call with your accountant, like, I don't care. I want you to jot down one takeaway from that call that you can be sharing externally, right? Like, hey, everybody, I had a call with my accountant. He said my finances are up this month, and like, here's why. Here's what I've been doing. Like, how can you share those things with other people? And then once you start doing that for a few weeks, you'll see that you start to get in the headspace for content creation. And that's one of my best tips, to just keep you in that space so that you can, again, circling back to earlier in our conversation, stay top of mind. Like, that is the biggest piece of the puzzle, especially in the year 2023, when channels are just saturated with content. How can you stand out? How can you stay top of mind? So whenever people have a need that your business aligns with, you can be there ready to service them.
Mm-hmm. I love that challenge. And I think that's a power one, right? It's a simple goal. It's literally a simple goal. Set an expectation for yourself that after each meeting, as you're debriefing your notes, even write it on your notepad, write it as a reminder on your desktop. So I have to laugh. You sharing that. I have this posted on my desktop, and it says that should be a post.
There it is.
But it's something that I literally usually have as, if I'm listening to a webinar, I have it up on my second monitor, and some of my dear friends who know me, or I'm doing marketing for them, will laugh, because usually that's what I'm private chatting them in their own webinars. If that should be a post, pause, let me get a screen grab of that. That should be your post, because there's so many things, exactly like you said, that we could be sharing externally that are unique and personal to you. And oh my God, you have stuff to share. I wouldn't have invited Jazz on this call if I didn't think she had some incredible insight to share. Meredith, same goes. If you listened to Tammy's yesterday, which was sassy and fun, I mean, there are so many things that you know that nobody else knows, or your perspective that no one else has the same perspective. So get over yourself, people. You have something to share. I mean, that's the first step in starting to build your own content. And it's not just what ChatGPT is telling you to share.
Yes.
And ChatGPT, that is a powerful tool. But in 5 years from now, I don't want you to forget how creative and how unique your voice still is.
Yeah.
So I love these. So as we're kind of wrapping up, I'm loving this insight that we're hearing from everybody. Let's talk about some rapid fire, because you and I have some passion projects, but my questions for you really revolve around, and if you haven't been, just you personally, like what makes you tick, what gets you excited, what makes you enthusiastic about living where you live. So if you haven't joined one of my LinkedIn lives before and you're just now listening, I'm going to walk you through rapid fire. Is very similar to what James Lipton used to do on Inside the After Studio. It is designed to have this tons of fun and be very off the wall questions, but to create that sense of normalcy that we're just normal people having these dialogues, and also add a little bit of fun and pizzazz. So I'm going to open, Jazz, with this question. What's a hidden gem in your community?
Ooh, good question. So my community specifically, I live in this borough right outside the city of Pittsburgh. You can literally walk to the city of Pittsburgh. So when I say right outside, it is right outside. And we have this unbelievable French bakery in our town that I am obsessed with. And so, of course, like the pastries are amazing. But
Yes.
what I am obsessed with as a business owner is the way that these French people run their business. They're open 2 days a week, and they've taken the whole summer off, and they will not serve me a croissant until September. And I hate it and I love it at the same time. And I'm like, I love this energy. And I said to them before we said our goodbyes for the summer, like, are you guys headed back to France? Like, what are you up to? And they were like, no, nothing. I was like, so you're just shutting your business down because like no plans. I love it. I love the energy, but also the pastries are amazing.
But I love that remark, right? And there's a local bakery here where the chef, he's incredible. If you next time you're in Cleveland, we'll go to Blue Door because it's delicious. But he's studied in Europe, some potato, and it's funny because the perfection and the croissants that he is so meticulous about, they won't put anything out unless it is like perfect. I love that they took off. I think we should all take a lesson from Europe, that they literally get like weeks upon weeks of vacation.
Yeah, the whole summer.
Whole summer. And we have, and that's one of the powerful things I think has happened with, and this is a sidebar with LinkedIn, is we start to realize the benefits that are available from companies that are overseas. Sorry, America, giving us 2 weeks of vacation, not really great. People in Europe are like, are you kidding me? We get a minimum of 4 weeks. Yeah. Minimum. Mm-hmm. And I mean, let's talk about that in America. We need to work on our work-life harmony, work-life balance. And it starts by looking at your vacation for people. And I will say that till I'm blue in the face, but this coming from the girl who probably didn't even take all her vacations over time. But next rapid fire question. When you think of local libraries, talk to me about your local libraries.
Yes. So again, my small town, Millvale, has an incredible local library. Pittsburgh in and of itself has amazing libraries. But what I really love about our library is they take it one step further by being like a community meeting place. And so every Wednesday they have free all bodies welcome yoga. Super fun. We do it outside in the summer. They have like a back deck with like a huge vegetable garden. And then they also have a free fridge, which I love. So people or businesses can come and put food in the free fridge. And then anybody who needs a little extra this month or this week or whatever it is can come stop by the free fridge and take whatever they want. So it's fun. Like the local coffee shop in town, and they'll close and they'll be like, hey, we just put some cold brew in the free fridge. Like everybody help yourself. Yeah. And there's just like produce in there. Sometimes it's even from their garden. There's everything. And it's such like a cool community builder outside of course, the typical like library. We have books type thing.
We have books and programs to help you. Novel concept. No, I love that. Oh, my heart is bursting with joy. That's really cool. All right. 2 more questions. 1, if your life were a hashtag, what would it be?
Oh, that is a great question. I don't know. I think it would have to be something growth related. Okay. Simply because I just love that word. I think it has so many meanings. I think I help businesses grow. I am such a huge plant lady, as you can see in my background over here. I love that. And then I just think we as entrepreneurs are on this like constant growth journey. Yeah. So I have to figure out what my hashtag is, but it's something growth related.
Plant mom. plant mom.
Yes, absolutely. Right.
I'll
Like,
add you to my thread. We have so if you don't know Annalise and Jennifer Carroll, if I haven't introduced you to them before, I will. Just remind me in the chat if you're listening afterwards. And I'll make sure to introduce you. They are also huge plant people, and we have a plant ranch here in Columbus. So it's about it's about an hour and 45 from where I am, and it's called Groovy Plant Ranch. And Annalise introduced me to it. It is all kinds of wild stuff that grows in Ohio. And
I
it's
need to go.
fun, but they are huge plant people. They even have like a little side hustle where they're selling some of their plants in a local yoga studio down near them.
Fun.
I love it. So I'll put you on the thread of all the memes we send about, oh, but I need that other plant. Oh, but I need that. Oh my God.
Yeah. Amazing. I love it.
So in full disclosure too, I always laugh about this. Instead of flowers for my birthday this year, my mom asked what I want. And I'm like, I want a new plant. So we actually got like a money tree. Then I read how tall they can get.
Huge.
I'm like, 6 to 8 inches. No, 6 to 8 feet, people.
Yeah.
So if you, in about 3 years, when y'all are, if I do a live stream from downstairs in our house and you see this huge tall tree. So now that we know we're both plant people,
yes.
Here's the next fun one to ask. What can we do to help you?
Ooh, great question. I mean, I think the easy answer there, right, is like if you know any boutique agency owners that are struggling with their sales and marketing, that need that thought partner to bring their visions to life, I would love to be connected with them.
I love that. Yeah. And if you haven't connected to Jasz, please do so. She is a powerhouse of fun. And I'm looking through my rapid fire list right now of other great things. We've got fun local libraries. Let's see. These are always fun. Any advice you would give people? Oh, no, wait, let me circle back. I have a different one. No, not advice. Let's not do advice.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite tool that you always recommend people make sure they bookmark or anything like that?
So I am a big HubSpot person. And I think oftentimes when I say HubSpot, people think about enterprise, but HubSpot's free version is amazing. I think every business owner should have a CRM. And if you don't have a CRM, HubSpot is a great one because it's way more than a CRM. It has the marketing tools, the sales tools, the website tools. But it helps keep you organized. It integrates with everything. So it's really seamless. And I think especially for people like us that do a lot of networking, it's so important to have that space where you're not keeping everything in your brain and you can write down, I had this awesome conversation with Megan and she told me she's looking for XYZ. Let me search my database for somebody that could potentially help with that. So you can make those introductions and be that super connector. And then all of that just comes back to you. I'm a big believer in if you help others, they will help you, so on and so forth.
No, and I think that's exactly right. I mean, it's a pay it forward concept, right? It's the reciprocal rewards. It's why I love what we get to do, right? One of our Together Digital women reached out to me this week and was like, oh my gosh, we're stuck. We need one more person on a panel. Who do you know, right? Well, the first thing I did was I went to my resource library. I went to my LinkedIn. I'm like, who do I know that does this? And the reason being full transparency, and Jasz knows this, that I'm currently looking for that best fit CRM. I didn't want to make a knee-jerk decision, right? Mm-hmm. You want to look at the CRM tools and technology that best fit your business. And I think that's in HubSpot is top tier. I mean, HubSpot's one of the 3 that I've got it narrowed down to decide, in 3 days.
Well, keep me
no pressure, y'all, but
yeah.
By August, I promised myself I'd have one. So in any regard, Jasz, it is fantastic having this conversation with you. You are a gem. You are an asset to everyone's network. So I encourage everybody to please connect with her on LinkedIn, follow her, engage with her, follow her posts, and take heed on her advice. So
thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, you were so welcome.
Thank you for your amazing energy and for bringing this community together. I so appreciate you.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate you. It is so fun. We're blessed to be in a really cool community. So for those of you out there who don't know about Together Digital, check it out. It's linked in the chat. And we can tell you all about it. Or if you have questions, you're welcome to Virtual Coffee Ask. So have a great day, y'all. Happy Thursday.
Thanks.
Bye, y'all.